How are you all? I hope you all are doing well. So today we will learn about parts of a plant. So students, in this chapter we will learn about different parts of a plant and what is this root and shoot system in plant, alright? What are the different functions of these parts, right? Why are these there are so many parts of a plant, right? What are the functions? What is the purpose that they hold, right? Then we will see the different shapes and sizes of leaves. Then what are the functions of leaves, flowers, fruits, and about seeds also. So let's get to this chapter. Recall your previous learning and answer the following questions. So till now what we have learned, recall that, and based on that understanding you have to just answer these 4 questions. Which part grows underground? Which part grows underground? It is the root, right? Now, which part makes food for the plant? It is the leaf, right? We studied about stomata also, right? It is present on the leaf. Now, which part grows above the ground? It is the stem. Now, what do you see inside the fruits? What do we find inside the fruit? Something solid? It's the seed, right? So this we have answered based on our previous understanding. Now let's learn more. In this chapter we will study different parts of a plant in detail. Now let's take an overview of different parts of a plant. So a plant consists of 2 main parts, the root and the shoot, okay? Roots grow under the ground and shoot grows above the ground. So broadly, if you would like to understand a plant, we would say that anything that grows under the ground, right? Below the ground. This is a root, okay? And whatever that grows above the ground is a shoot. So whatever like stem, branches, bud, leaves, fruit, flower, whatever will grow above the ground comes under shoot, okay? Now let's go to the next page. Now let's begin with the root, okay? Because that's the first thing that comes out of a seed. If you pull a plant from the soil, you cannot pull it easily because it is fixed in the soil by the roots. The part of the plant that grows under the soil is called the root. There are 2 types of root. So see, the purpose of the root is to hold on, right? Is to hold on. So the roots in the soil provides that support, provides that foundation to the whole plant, right? Whenever you can try, even at your home, you try to pull out a plant, right? It will not come out of easily. Why? Because of this intricate food system, right? So there are 2 types of roots, majorly tap roots and fibrous root, right? So there are 2 kind of roots. You can easily see them by just looking at it. So tap roots are those kind of roots. A tap root is a main root, right? And it looks like a tap only. For example, you can see here, you will see one main root and then there would be other sub roots, right? But you can distinctly see one main root, alright? This is the characteristic of a taproot. You can easily identify it. A number of thin roots grow from it. Plants such as neem, mango, balsam, carrots have this kind of taproot, right? This type of taproot. But on the other hand, the second type is fibrous root. And fibrous root are thin and bushy. They grow from the base of the stem. There is no main root and the roots spread in the soil. So what happens in fibrous root? It starts from a base of that plant, and there are multiple roots that will come out of it. No root would called as a main root, okay? There is no such concept as main root in fibrous root, okay? Only in the taproot there is one main root and it grows like a bush, okay? So it looks like a bushy fibrous root, okay? and we get to see fibrous root in rice, wheat, onion, grass have fibrous roots. Alright. Now quickly let's do just to fill in the blanks. Sugarcane has what type of root and mango have what type of root? So mango has a tap root, okay, and sugarcane has fibrous root. Alright. Now let's understand the functions of the roots. So there are major three functions. So roots fix the plant to the soil, right? And that's the reason if you pull the plant from the top, it will not come off easily. Why? Because root gives the strength, okay? It holds the soil, it fixes the plant to the soil. Also, roots absorb water and minerals from the soil, right? So whatever minerals and water plant needs, it is taken up by the roots. Some roots like radish, carrot, beetroot, etc. store food prepared by the plants. We eat these roots as vegetables. So store roots also is as used as a food, right? It also gives energy to us. So if we talk about beetroot, radish, right, they grow under the soil, right, and they are the root of that plant. So they also gives us food. Now let's understand the shoot part of the plant. So once the root is developed, right, next thing that will come out of the seed would be the shoot, okay, the upper part of the plant. Now the part of a plant that grows above the ground is called the shoot. It consists of stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. So now once the root is done, okay, once the root is developed, not fully, but just one part, once the root has come off, next thing that would come out of the plant, of the seed, would be the shoot, okay, and then slowly shoot will get segregated into stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. Now what is shoot? Basically a part of plant that grows above the ground, right? Now let's go to the next page. Next comes the stems. So stem provides support to the plant. Some plant have hard woody stem, some have soft and tender stem, and some have very weak stems, right? So what is a stem? When the plant grows upward, right, it is the main thing to which leaves and other things are attached, right? So stems gives support to the plant, right? And there are different kind of stems. There are woody stems, there are hard stems, soft stem, very weak stems also exist. Now what are the function of stems, hai na? So stem bears leaves, fruits and flowers apart from giving support. So first simple function is that it gives support, but besides that it also bears, it also gives place for leaves, fruits and flowers to emerge. It carries water and minerals from the roots to the other parts of the plants. Since other parts of the plants like leaves, fruits and flower is connected to the stem, it becomes a transport carrier. Basically it is a carrier that carries water to the other parts of the plant. Stem also carries food prepared by the leaves to all parts of the plant. So since leaves are connected to the stem, so the food prepared by the leaves would get transferred to the other parts of the plant through these stem. Some stem store food in them such as potato and ginger, right? So it is also act as a food also. Some stems help in producing new plants. So there are some stems that has a very slight note just as in sugarcane, and it helps in producing the new plant. Now let's do an activity, okay? Now we will do this activity to understand how stems transport water, okay? Just now we read that stem transport water. So let's do this. So let's take a long stemmed white rose, a beaker, water and red ink, okay? Dip the stem in the beaker containing water. Add few drops of red ink to to it and keep it for few hours. So what you have to do is take a beaker, put some water into it and take a white rose. Okay. Now you will add red into the water and wait for few hours. What you will observe will, the flower will get red in color. It happened because stem transported color dissolved in water to the flower, right? So during this time, what happened? The red color, right? The red colored water get transported through the stem because the stem carries water to other parts of the plant, right? What are the other plants? Other parts. The leaf is the other plant. The flower is also the other plant. And when this red water get transported to the flower, it got red, right? So this activity shows that stems transport water. Now we'll now see the leaf. Okay. So leaves grow on stems. They are the most important part of the plant. Why? Because now we'll see that. So firstly, they are of different shapes and size. We can see over here neem leaves, tulsi leaves, banana leaf, where banana leaf is a very big leaf, but neem leaves are very small leaves, right? Mostly they are green in color because of the presence of a green colored substance called chlorophyll. It helps leaves to make food. So you have seen that there are different kinds of leaf, but all leaves, despite of having different shapes, they have same color, right? Mostly, right? Why this is so? Because they contain a pigment, a colored substance called chlorophyll that gives green color to them, right? And we read just now that these are the most important part of plant. Why? Because leaves helps to make food, right? So the food that a plant gets, where it gets from? It gets from the leaf part of that plant. Okay. Now let's go to the next page. Now let's learn about parts of a leaf. Okay. So the flat and broad part of the leaf is called leaf blade or lamina. So basically this part, okay, this surface of leaf, this is the broadest part of a leaf, all right. So this is called lamina. The thick line passing through the middle of the leaf is main vein or midrib. So this part, okay, so this is quite thicker as compared to the other ribs, and it is the main vein, okay, or it is called the midrib, right? It crosses from the middle of the leaf. From the main vein, a number of thin side veins comes out, right? So it is talk about these thinner side veins, okay, coming out from the midrib. Now the veins carry water to the leaf. The leaf blade has small holes on the side called stomata. So these veins helps us to helps to carry water to all the part of a leaf. The leaf blade has small holes on the underside called stomata. So when we will turn this leaf, okay, so the back side of the leaf, right, the back side of the leaf around this leaf blade has very small tiny holes. It's called the stomata. It is not very much clearly visible through our naked eyes, but it can be seen, right? Now let's understand the function of a leaf. What is the purpose of a leaf? Why it is there on the plant? So green leaves makes food for the plant. They are called kitchen of the plant, as they prepare food for the plant in the presence of air, water, sunlight by the process of photosynthesis. So see, to make food, to get energy, there is this leaf, there is this plant part that makes food, right? This is the purpose of leaf, and it is called the kitchen of the plant. So what is kitchen? Basically kitchen is the part of a house where food is prepared, right? So this is the part of a plant where food is prepared in the presence of air, water and sunlight, right? So it takes up air, water and sunlight, and this process is called photosynthesis, through which food is prepared. Do you know some non-green plants cannot prepare their own food, like mushrooms? So this green part, right, we talked about chlorophyll, right? So this green chlorophyll pigment is very important for the preparation of food. We can see that mushroom who don't have this green part cannot prepare food by their own. Next is, some plants store foods in their leaves such as spinach, cabbage, mint, lettuce. These are called edible leaves. So some leaves of some plants are also provides us with nutrients. So what does it mean by to store food in their leaves, right? Do they have something different if we are talking about food? So basically, if you talk about spinach, these edible leaves like cabbage and mint and lettuce, right, they have certain kind of nutrients, right, certain kind of macronutrients or micronutrients that are important for the human body, right, from where we get energy, right, and that's the reason we are saying that these are edible leaves. What else? During the process of preparing food, leaves gives out a gas called oxygen, which is needed by the animals and humans. So this stomata that we were talking about earlier is plays a very important role during the process of photosynthesis, and while this process happens, the gas called oxygen comes out of these holes, and humans and animals uses this, right, for their existence. Now next part comes the flower. So flower is the most attractive part of the plant, and it is mostly colorful, right? Why it is attractive? Because it has a very different and unique shape, it is colorful, and it smells so nice, right? Do you know world's largest known flower is Rafflesia emeraldi, and the smallest flower is Wolofia globosa, right? So these are two smallest and biggest flower. Now what is the function of a flower? Why flower is there on a plant? So flowers changes into fruit. So it's the process that when the plant prepares their fruit, it is a preparatory phase, and first it comes as a flower and the flower changes into the fruit. Now let's go to the next page. So what is the second function? They help the plant to reproduce. The fruits have seeds inside them. These seeds grow into new plants, okay? So basically, when a plant bear a flower, right, it bear a flower. Why it gives flower? Because when the flower will get fertilized, reproduced, it will lead to the formation of fruit, and fruit have lots of seed inside them, and this seed has the capability to grow into a new plant when it gets full and right environment for its growth, right? So basically, the function of a flower is ultimately is basically the reproduction, okay? It lets the cycle continue, okay? Next is, some flowers also store food such as broccoli and cauliflower. We eat these flowers. So there are some plants whose flower is basically nutritious to us. For example, broccoli and cauliflower are such examples. Now let's understand fruits and seeds. So fruits are formed from flowers. Okay, so let's first understand this. We see flowers over on the plant, right? Flowers turns into fruits, okay? They turn into fruit. Fruit has seed inside them, and seed leads to the formation of tree, okay? Now fruits are formed from flowers, okay? We eat fruits that are fleshy and juicy like apples, mangoes, oranges, grapes, etc. Some fruits have only one seed while others have many seeds. So one seeds, if you talk about mango have only one seed, right? One mango have only one seed, whereas if we talk about watermelon or papaya, they have many seed inside one single fruit, right? Do you know that strawberry is the only fruit that has seeds outside? It has about an average of 200 seeds. Have you seen strawberry ever? So it looks like something like this, right? And it have small things over it. What are those? Those are basically seeds of strawberry, right? So it is the only fruit that bears seed outside and not inside the fruit, right? Now let's understand the growth of new plant from the seed. How the seed turns into the new plant. So seeds have a baby plant inside them. A seed grows into a new plant when it gets the right amount of air, water and warmth in the soil. So the seed, what I was talking about, a seed has the capability to grow into a full big tree. So seed have a baby plant inside it. So when the seed gets the right environment, right air, right water, right warmth in the soil, it starts to develop and finally over a period of time grows in a tree. A seed has stored food for the growing plant, right? So the seed is very small, right? Still it has stored some amount of food so that when it gets the right environment, it can grow into the plant. Now let's go to the next page. So the process by which a baby plant grows out from a seed is called the germination. Okay, it is called seed germination. So this baby plant, when the seed comes out and becomes this baby plant, right? This part is called the seed germination. Okay. Now children, tell me one thing. It is said that it is good to sleep under a tree during the day but not at night. Can you tell the reason why? Just think and tell. It is said that we can sleep under a tree during the day, but it is not good to sleep under night. What happens in night? So the reason is, during the daytime, right, when the sunlight is there, the plant produces what? Photosynthesis, it produces food, and that process releases oxygen as a byproduct, right? And the oxygen is important to us, right? We inhale that. But during night, when there is no sunlight, no photosynthesis is happening, so basically at that time they don't give off any oxygen, rather they give off carbon dioxide, right, which is not of use for us human beings, right? Now let's do an activity. Collect some leaves of different patterns and paste in your scrapbook. Also mention the name of the plant. So you must have seen variety of leaves, right? So just go in your garden or school playground, collect leaves that have fallen on the ground, right? And paste them in your scrapbook and try to name that plant, okay? Now let's get to the main points of this chapter and see what we have read so far. So the two main parts of a plant are the roots and the shoot. The roots are of two types, tap roots and fibrous roots. The stem supports the plant above the ground. It bears leaves, flowers and fruits. The stem supports food, transports food and water to all parts of the plant. Green leaves are called kitchen of the plant. They prepare food for the plant. Flowers change into fruits. Fruits have seeds inside them, and a seed grow into a new plant when it gets air, water, warmth in the soil, right? Now let's go to the next page. Now let's get to the exercise of this chapter. So based on our understanding, we'll try to answer these questions, okay? So we'll solve one part of each question, rest you will do by your own, okay? So take the correct option. Part of a plant that grows above the ground. So what's that? Root, shoot or flower? It's the root, okay? Now, second question is, fill in the blanks with the suitable words from the given box. So a dash has a thick main root. So it is talking about root, right? Tap, many flower, oxygen 1. So it is talking about the tap root. Tap root has a main root, right? Tap root. Now, next question is give 2 examples of the following. Let's say if we talk about edible roots, okay? What are the example of edible roots? It is radish, right? What else? Sweet potato. Okay. Now, next question is give 1 word for the following. The part of the plant that grows under the ground, okay? What it is called? It is the root. Now, let's go to the next page. Now, answer these questions briefly. What is a root? So, root is a part that grows below the ground, right? Now, long answer questions. Write true difference between tap roots and fibrous roots. So, what are the two difference? Tap root has a main root, okay, and fibrous root has no main root. Tap root has few thin roots and fibrous root has no thin roots, rather it grows from the base of the plant, okay. Now, you can also give examples over here, right? For example, tap roots are generally seen in people, okay, and fibrous roots can be seen in sugarcane. Now, let's do an activity here. Collect the seeds of different fruits in separate boxes. You may use empty matchbox or containers of used medicines or cosmetics. Label them too. Plant these seeds wherever you find empty ground. Who knows who will grow in big plants whenever they get favorable condition. So, what you have to do is collect the seeds from the fruits, whatever fruits that you eat, right? And then separate them and put them into boxes. You can use empty match boxes or any match boxes that you might use, for example, medicine or cosmetic used box. Place them, name the seed, and you can just plant those seeds anywhere, right? We don't know which seed might get the right environment to grow, and it will grow someday in a tree, right? So, I hope this chapter is now clear to you. So, based on your understanding of this chapter, you have to revise and do the rest of the questions in your homework.